daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.
Hello and welcome back to the Daily Newcastle podcast. And with the Premier League taking a break for the internationals, we're switching gears to take a look at what might be deemed as a big one this week. England versus Wales at Wembley. I'm your host, Michael Grahamslaw, and to help me dig into it, I've got a man that just loves England. Kevin Esther, how you doing, mate?
I'm good. I'm not missing an action today. I was listening. I was listening to the episode I was supposed to be on, but my God, life can be hectic, as everybody knows. However, I can finally bring back I love England, me.
Exactly. We've missed it so much. And to be honest, with all these international breaks, I feel myself related to it more. I know, it should be terrible. It's one of those Liverpool. Who'd have thought at this stage of the season, Liverpool fans would be desperate for a national break, and Newcastle fans would be thinking, just want to get back out there.
Just play football. Proper football.
Exactly. But it's great to have you back. International break coming up. I take it you're not looking forward to it.
You know what, right? Actually, you know what? Previously on the Southgate, obviously, was episodes back there. If you want to go back and listen to all of them, you're a lunatic, but find some international ones. And all I say is, I love England, me, because I was so bored of England. But you know what? Tuchel's last game gave me a very slight tingle where I thought, I might get back into England here. So very impressive. And they played in a certain way. I thought there was a bit of freedom there. Don't get me wrong, I'd love to see Grealish in at the minute. I think he's pulling up trees at Everton. I'm thinking, what's he got to do to get in this squad? Yeah. Especially with James's injury. I know he's not a defender, but we'll come to that. But yeah, you know what? Tuchel might get me back into this, Michael.
Oh, we've been calling him boring Tommy Tuchel up until the last game. But I do agree, his last game was fantastic. But we'll get straight into it. Tuchel's named his squad. 24-man group, some interesting headlines. Saka's back in. Kwanzaa, who's been excellent for Bayer Leverkusen. Obviously, we play them in the Champions League just before the derby. He gets his call up. Reece James injured, as he said. So Nico O'Reilly steps in from Manchester City. And some familiar names as well. Kane, Rice, Rashford, Eze. And of course, Anthony Gordon. But Tuchel said in his press conference this will be a decisive camp. Half the players that are going to start next year aren't even in the squad. But is there anyone, you mentioned Grealish there, who you think's unlucky to make the squad and might make it in maybe in a year's time?
Yeah, I think Grealish is very unfortunate. I think if you're going to go off current form, he's got to be close. He's regardless what you think of him or whether you thought he was the hero about 4 or 5 years ago when everyone was like clamouring for him to come on. Regardless what you think about him, he's been amazing at Everton. It's been a fantastic move for all parties, I think. Everybody's kind of benefiting from it. So, yeah, I think Grealish has been very unlucky. What I am really interested in is the Bellingham call, because I think Bellingham's a great player. I know he gives the ball away, but at least he tries to go forward. I've spoken multiple times on this podcast about Declan Rice not going forward for England. So yeah, Bellingham was a big kind of call, but I quite like what Tuchel's doing here. There's no Trent. I know Trent's injured, but again, not in. No Phil Foden. He's had a year of absolute nothingness, Phil Foden, since the last international tournament. Hasn't really done much at all. So I quite like with Foden's just not getting picked because of his name. And even though I disagree with the Bellingham and Grealish call, I like what he's saying. Look, this group of players didn't do me wrong. I'm sticking with them. I like that. Yeah. We haven't had an England manager do that for ages. Southgate had his favourites. It was always based on who he can trust in a big tournament. But I like the freshness. I like the 5-0 against Serbia got me excited because it was players I'm not used to seeing. A style which we were finally clamouring for under Tuchel and Southgate, because you're absolutely right. Tuchel was very boring before the last Serbia game. So I am actually a little bit excited. I agree with what he's doing. I agree with him setting his stall out. I agree with him being a little bit harsh. Not Fabio Capello harsh, but harsh enough where Grealish does realise he's got to put together form consistently and not just a good team. Bellingham now might think he's not a guaranteed superstar of the international team. He's going to have to work his butt off at Madrid. Same to Foden and Trent. It's not just about a good couple of weeks anymore. I'm excited.
Yeah, it is exciting times because, I mean, what we were saying going into the Serbia game was, it's one of those where we've only played teams that are going to sit back 10 men behind the ball and never try and attack England at all. And Serbia, although they played pretty much the same, it was a case of, they did actually try and get out. And it led to England scoring the first goal and end up scoring 5. So Wales, I can't imagine will want to sit back against us. Craig Bellamy, certainly as a player,
I
he
love
wasn't
Bellamy.
that kind of. Really?
I love Bellamy. He's one of my favourite Toon strikers. He was brilliant for us.
All right, well, I'll skip what I was going to say, and I'm just going to
No,
say,
go.
did you think he was going to be a good manager? Because when I heard he was going to be a manager, I thought he was going to be terrible.
Yeah, I thought the same as you. Bit of a hothead, wasn't he? Had a bit of bite about him. I thought he's just going to fall out with a captain, and the dressing room's going to turn on. It's not going to work. But
100%.
he went with company at Anderlecht as the assistant. He came to Burnley as the assistant, and we obviously didn't go to Bayern because he got the Wales job. But he's actually done. You look at his results for Wales. He's had a pretty good run, to be fair. He's done very well. But yeah, I didn't expect him to make a good manager. If you told me that when when he was playing, I was about how old? 10, 11. So to me, they were like superstars, and I was like, oh, I love Craig Bellamy. He's fast. He scored that goal against Feyenoord in the Champions League.
Correct.
So yeah, for me, I was like, I love Bellamy. I want him to do well as a manager, but I didn't expect him to at all. I thought he'd be too much of a hothead, but it looks like has he matured? Could he have a role as on Newcastle coaching staff when he's done with Wales? Would we accept him back? I certainly would, but I know a lot of fans don't like him.
Hey, look, it's one of those. If he comes back, the club's the best interested. I'd happily have him, but I completely agree with you. I sort of thought it'd be another Roy Keane scenario where he gets the job, does okay, but never really pulls up any trees, and then ends up going to really mediocre clubs and fails ultimately.
What mediocre clubs are we talking about?
I don't know. It was the Ipswich. I think he was. Can't think of any others. But yeah, like it's one of those where he's the last person in that squad that we had in 03, 04 that I would have anticipated being a manager. And as you say there, maybe he has just really matured. But you listen to him talk in press conferences, and it's hard to believe it's the same person. So,
yeah, I agree.
Really impressed by him. But sort of back to England, because I don't think we've got anyone in the Wales squad from Newcastle. Paul Dummett's unfortunately gone, and he ain't getting in that anytime soon.
I know he's not Newcastle anymore, but Darlow being called up for Wales?
He might have done, actually, yeah. He's doing all right at Leeds, isn't he?
He's doing really well. He's number one now.
Insane. Yeah. But we mentioned there Jack Grealish, one player who we thought might get in. What do you think of Adam Wharton? Because Grealish, in his interview after the game with Crystal Palace, Grealish even said Adam Wharton was the best player on the pitch. And for me, as much as I like Elliot Anderson, I think the game against Newcastle, you did see the difference in quality between England's potential player in that position and Italy's. Because Sandro, and even Brazil's, because Sandro Tonali, Bruno Guimaraes, the level above in that game, and it's only one game, but Adam Wharton, I think, is the player that's more likely to make that step up. And I know that's harsh. Elliot Anderson's, he's a Geordie. We all love him. But I do think Adam Wharton is that step above him, but he hasn't even made the squad. What do you think?
Yeah, I would agree with Adam Wharton. I think he is better than Anderson. I think we said it when he was here. Like we were gutted to lose Anderson because he's a Geordie, but I mean, he's fourth choice at best at the time when he left. Willock was close to being ahead of him. Longstaff was kind of on par with him. So he has kicked on from then, of course he has, and he's kind of started to get more of a reputation. But yeah, Adam Wharton, every time I see him, I'm impressed. I thought he was great against Everton. I watched the game. But it's not just that game. Almost every time he's in the midfield, he kind of dictates for play. And we don't see that from many English midfielders. It's more of a European thing, isn't it? Like a Pirlo thing. He'll decide when it's a long ball, when it's a short ball. He'll decide when he's dropping deep to help a defence. But actually, Wharton, to me, is more of a European player than an English player. But yeah, I think I would personally rather have Wharton. But again, I think it's a message from Tuchel of, look, if you guys come in and you do the business, you beat teams like, I mean, let's not get carried away, right? It's Serbia, but we are a decent team.
Yeah, very good team.
But let's say Tuchel's saying to them, if you come in and do me well, you keep clean sheets, you score lots of goals, I can't drop you. You've got to come in. Obviously, there'll be exceptions. I think if Grealish goes on to have another 10 goal contributions before Christmas, then it's going to be borderline impossible to say no to him. But it's good message. It's a good motivation for Grealish. I think it's brilliant motivation for the Bellinghams and Whartons. But yeah, I'm with you. I'd rather have Wharton over Anderson personally. But I guess that's the other side of the coin, isn't it? I was kind of going to ask you. You might be about to ask me. But should he just take the team he knows he's going to play at the World Cup to get them prepared to play together? Or do you think he doesn't know? He must know. Do you think?
I think he's got his 11 probably etched out on paper. But I think there's probably 6 or 7 places in that squad up for grabs still. I'm still in awe that he's picking Dan Burn for almost every game, because it's one of those. It feels like he's a guaranteed starter right now for me. And yeah, I think he's got maybe 16, 17 positions nailed down. Obviously, the likes of Cole Palmer, Foden, Bellingham, Trent, all not in the squad this time round.
Yeah.
I think there's a few names in the squad this time round where he's gone, let me test you out. Let me see how you do. I was actually surprised to a degree not to see Lewis Hall because he was fit originally, and then he was called. I thought, oh, he's in. He's picked up another injury, surely. And then he was called up for the under-21. So I don't know if it's Carsley's gone right. He's not ready for that. Let's get him back into action for the under-21s. So yeah, I think there's still some spots up for grabs, and that is going to build very nicely into what I'm going to start with in part 2. But for now, it's Bionic.
Your body is unique. And Global Sports Podcast Network has partnered with Bionic, the world's most personalised supplements. Bionic provide 100% tailor-made supplements designed to deliver precisely what your body needs at exactly the right levels to optimise your health. No guessing. So click the link in the show notes. Use the code GSPN2025 for 40% off your first month's subscription. Bionic. Don't settle for off-the-shelf solutions made for just anybody. Get what's right for you right now.
Beautiful stuff. So, we talked about the World Cup. Who could potentially go? I mentioned Dan Burn there. Feels like he's cemented. I'm going to list off 5 Newcastle players to start this section. I want you to tell me if you think there'll be a starter at the World Cup just in the squad, or if they're basically going to be sitting on the couch to watch it. So we'll start off with we'll go with the last player I mentioned, Lewis Hall.
Squad.
Oh, you think he makes the squad?
I think he'll have a strong. I think once he's back from injury and he trusts his body again, I think he'll be straight back into our team. Maybe Tino comes back to the right, but there's plenty of games.
I'd agree.
And he's already been in the squad, so I think he's got everything. And you look at the left back position. I mean, Miles
Kelly.
Miles Kelly. I don't know. Lloyd Kelly's better than him in a minute.
Hey, you might get in. You never know.
You never know. Miles Kelly, I think is everyone was talking about him about a month and a half ago, saying, "Oh, it's his position for the next." I was like, "It's not like." It's not his position for the next 10 years at all. He gets sent off. He's got an awful disciplinary record for such a young player. I mean, you've got someone like Lewis Hall who's technically brilliant on the ball, can play in midfield as well. You can do the inverted fullback thing if that's what you want from him. You can be aggressive down the left. He's got a good cross on him. I think Hall will be in the squad. I think he'll have a good... Once he's back to full fitness, I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, I think the main thing there is him feeling confident in his body again. As he mentioned, he came back and Eddie Howe said, he just doesn't feel confident enough in his body. Now he's got that hamstring injury, you're almost thinking, did he not feel it? Yeah. But it was almost one of those where it's been there for a little while, a little tingle, and then against Union St. Gilloise, it's gone properly, which
good
hopefully doesn't...
by the way. Whoa.
Well, I've had a lot of practice.
Oh, good.
Thank you, Ridley. So Lewis Hall, we've got in the squad. We'll go with the next flank next. Tino Livramento. What do we think?
Squad. I don't think he'll be starting, but he'll be squad.
All right, well, I'm going to ask you for a little follow-up to that. Who starts at right back for England at the World Cup? What do you think?
I think it's really tough. If he's fit, I think Reece James.
Yeah, I agree.
But if he's not fit, I think Trent will have to have it. Trent strikes a ball so well. I mean, defensively, everybody's right. He's not great defensively. He does not even try and make a case for him defensively. But when you've got somebody, I mean, 4-4-2 could be back in fashion by then. The way it's going with the long throws and the long sleeve shirts. And
100%.
I'm not sure where it's going. We're going back to the 90s. So Trent could be a right midfielder. You don't know, but I think Reece James and maybe Trent are ahead of Tino at the minute. Don't get me wrong, Tino could have an unbelievable season and really, really make a push for it, but I think he'll be in the squad. I think he'll get some minutes in the World Cup, by the way.
I do agree, yeah.
I think he'll be mainly around the squad, yeah.
Yeah, I think, to be honest, Tino might actually have a better chance of playing at left back than he does at right back.
Good point.
Just because of the quality on show there. You mentioned Trent. I think it's a perfect little pivot to have of Reece James starts the game, gets to 60 minutes. If you're playing against a decent side, you know they've gone 1-0 up. Maybe Trent can unlock that defense from deep. So I think James starting and Trent on the bench, absolutely perfect there. Number 3, I think this will be the quickest one of the lot. Harvey Barnes
home.
on the couch.
But he's not anywhere near it, is he? I'm not going to be critical. He's had one England cap.
He has.
I don't know. Someone's just not clicking with him, but I don't think you'll get another one anytime soon.
Yeah, and the player that starts ahead of him at the moment, Anthony Gordon.
Oh my goodness, does he start?
We've got a plethora of beautiful.
Got so many wingers.
Players.
Grealish is back in form. Grealish might take a spot off him if he does get back in.
Rashford, Eze,
Rashford's flying. You've got Madueke, who can play on both, who was doing really well for England and Arsenal when Saka was out. So we know he can replace Saka. And then you've got Saka as well. So I'm going to go squad. I think it would take some doing getting on the wing as a starting England winger right now.
100%. He doesn't exactly look his best for Newcastle at the minute anyways. And while we're confident he'll get there, we're confident he'll find his old form. But as you say, as we both say, the number of players in now those positions who could play, it's so good for England. As Bellamy said, there's so much depth for England that it's insane. And then the final player, Dan Burn. Does he start or does he just get in the squad? Because he ain't staying at home.
So Colwell's out for the season, so Colwell's not going to make it. He will definitely be in. If he's
100%. And that's Konsa, I would say, the other one.
He's better than Konsa. I'm going to go start.
Oh.
He's better than Konsa. I think if Colwell was fit, Levi was fit from Chelsea, I think it would be him and Gehi.
Yeah.
I just think Byrne's better than Konsa, and I can't think of many others who are going to come in and look better than Byrne within the next, 4, 5, 6 months?
No Harry Maguire?
Stick him up front if you need a goal last minute. That's what Man U do.
To be honest, he's probably doing better than Watkins at the moment.
Yeah, exactly.
There's the other options. Wilson, DCL, Ivan Toney in Saudi. I'll have Harry Maguire up top, absolutely.
What about Nick Pope?
Too old, isn't he?
He is, but he could be a third choice keeper. Case was an emergency situation.
I think if we're basing it on the best players, I think Pope would have been in there 3 years ago or so, and he'd still be in now. But I think it's one of those where at 33, I think he is now. He'll be 34 by the time the World Cup comes along. I think it's one of those.
You've got Henderson and Pickford. I think will be the two main keepers who will maybe get minutes. But we normally take 3, and I'm just thinking, who is that third keeper that England? Trafford, but he's not going to play much for City because Donnarumma's in. Pope will be playing every week. Ramsdale, if Pope gets injured, could he get back in?
Potentially. I do think it'll be Sam Johnson because he's took over from Jose Sa now at Wolves. He looks decent. If Ramsdale gets in for Newcastle, though, there's no reason why he couldn't.
Plays with his feet as well, isn't he?
Yeah, he's excellent with the ball at his feet. And you mentioned Henderson there, and you've just kind of triggered me a little bit.
Jordan.
Because, I love Dean Henderson, but Jordan Henderson back in the England squad, he has looked pretty good for Brentford, but surely he doesn't make the World Cup squad, does he?
I think he does. I think he does.
It's a tough one because you got Gibbs White in there, obviously Foden, Palmer, all that. I know they're a bit more attacking, but
Maddison won't be back. I just think Henderson for Brentford. You know what? I think I've spoke to you and Ian about this before in the national. I think it was about 2018. Henderson finally changed my mind. I used to think Henderson was just a safe player, backwards, sideways. I think it was the 2018 in Russia, or it was the 2020 Euros or 21 Euros, whatever it was with COVID. One of them, I can't remember which, were blended into one. But it was. Henderson started, he was giving the ball away, he was getting loads of stick, but I was like, God, at least he's trying to go forward in this team, because again, we had that period where Bellingham wasn't on the scene and we just didn't have anybody to pass the ball forward. So he changed my mind half there for England, but then ever since he's been back in England with Brentford, I think he's looked excellent. And I know Tuchel originally spoke about, he's in there for his experience, he's a leader, all this stuff. But actually, he's actually playing very good football at the minute. In a Brentford team who's in a massive transitional period, and he's holding it all together. So I'm happy he didn't go back to Sunderland because he's actually playing off his head. So I think Henderson does make it, and I quite like him. as a Newcastle man. Oh, that was weird to say that.
Yeah, it is a weird one, and to be honest, me is a stinging a bit here in it. But when Kobbie Mainoo's not playing for Man United, Adam Wharton's not getting called up at the moment. Elliot Anderson's in there, Morgan Rogers, even if they want to play him a bit deeper. Maddison, all the players we've just mentioned. It sort of feels wrong to have Jordan Henderson in there, but all the players I've mentioned, they don't have that experience.
Inconsistent, and they can't stay fit. Gibbs White can't stay fit. Maddison can't stay fit. Henderson, I think, Anderson isn't at Henderson's level yet. And I know that sounds stupid because Anderson's had a great but Henderson's done it for so long. And he's back in the Premier League. Everyone thought 35-year-old Jordan Henderson going to Brentford would flop and fail. Yeah. And he's got 100%. Something like 3 or 4 assists. He's created 6 major chances and he's been unbelievable defensively and positionally. So, yeah, I don't see how you leave him out if he carries this on, which is, again, it's weird bigging up a Sunderland lad and a Sunderland ex-Sunderland player. But I mean, is he almost what we would never sign him and he would never come, but is he almost what we would need if we have an injury? Someone just calm and slow and just to sit at the back and sit deep and just, he's never going to get in front of our 3, but no, he's probably not far away from being 4th choice if he was at our club.
No, to be honest, you're probably right. It's one of those, I didn't know the stats behind it, to be honest, and he has been doing well. It's annoying to see, but when he went to Saudi and then to Ajax,
we thought it was over.
Yeah, Ajax fans hated him at first, and then when he left, they were really sad. So it was one of those where it was kind of like, right, he's playing against like Willem and stuff like that, though, so it's not going to be that good. But you're right, he has been fantastic. So I'm going to we'll wrap it up in just a little bit, but what I'm going to ask is, it's a friendly between Wales. Do games like this really need to happen? Nope. With so many international breaks, friendlies are just pointless now, aren't they?
What is the point? I know you've got to get your team ready for the international break, but Christ almighty, I mean, why having a friendly? Let us play Premier League football. The players will be more prepared. I know you've got to play together and build up relationships. Physically, the players will be more prepared if they play Premier League. Scrap this, keep playing the Prem, finish the season a month earlier before the World Cup starts, or even a month and a half earlier, let's say 4 to 5 weeks early, finish the season, stop the restart national breaks, give the players a bit of time off, then get them back in training together, and then maybe play a friendly before the World Cup, like a mini pre-season before the World Cup, 2 different 11s, then play the World Cup. We don't need these breaks. It's very frustrating. I know you've got to qualify, so I get them ones, and I get when you've got to do qualifiers, and one of these games is a qualifier, I think, but come on, why do we need an international friendly at this point?
Yeah, 100%. It's one of even the qualifiers, you could condense them so much easier.
Yeah, 100%.
You could, I mean, don't be wrong, I know teams have got to do their away trips and stuff like that, but all of them feel pointless. Like, do England need to play Latvia to say if they're going to qualify for a tournament? Probably not. They are going to change the format, I think, next season after the World Cup for qualifiers, so that might make it a little better. But I want to finish up. England-Wales, very likely to be Anthony Gordon and Dan Burn in the team. What do you think the score is going to be?
Wales are no mugs.
They're not, particularly not under Bellamy.
I just think we've got too much quality for them, which sounds really arrogant. But I think if Bellamy was in charge of England, we'd be putting England to win. So I don't think having Tuchel anything really matters. I think it's just the genuine strength of the squad.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to go. I think it'll be close. I think England might win 2-1.
Oh, to be honest, I was thinking around about the same, but I'm going to go 2-0. Harry Kane and Anthony Gordon to get a goal. I think Gordon needs it, really. Because, let's be honest, he hasn't really been getting them, except from penalties for Newcastle. But we'll be back after the game for a reaction episode, breakdown who's impressed, who struggled, and hopefully another England win. But big thanks to Kev for joining me. It's always a pleasure to have you. And we will see you next time.
Your daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.